Hi, I'm Mindy Yoshikawa, and today I have a silhouette tutorial to share with you using some cutting files by Whitlock. I wanted to share a new favorite of mine, which is journaling or creating sentiments around the edge of a circle. So for today's card, I'm going to use a spinner game piece from Lori's 4x6 Project Life cards. And so I don't really need all the other elements for my card, so I'm going to go ahead and delete them. And for my actual card base, I'm going to create a circle that is, I've been having this problem where it's leaving little blips. If anybody knows how to solve that, please tell me, because it's going to be a problem on this video. Anyway, I'm going to create a circle, and I want it to be size 5 inches round so that it can form my card base. And one is going to be for the card front, where I'm going to add my journaling, and the other will be duplicated for the card back. And to help the card sit flat when it is attached to the other one, I cut off a little slice off the bottom using the knife tool, and this will just help so that the circle doesn't want to roll down your table or something. It works really well. And I just hold the shift key down to make the lines perpendicular. And so right now I'm going to create, show how you could create a dotted line for the folding, or you can omit this and just use your bone folder. So my line went a little bit further than I wanted it to. I don't want it to cut through the edge of my card, so I'm shortening it. And then I'm going to switch this to a dotted line. And it took me a little second to remember where the function was on the menu, but there I found it. And I'm not sure if this one's going to work or not. It looks like it might be a little too close together. I don't want it to perforate and tear completely. So I ended up deciding to use the bigger line. Anyway, I'm going to group these together. I think I first did a make compound path, which changed the line somehow. So I undid that and switched just to grouping the shapes. And I'm going to set that aside to cut out a white cardstock later. Now for my actual spinner piece, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it by grouping it together and dragging it over to my card base. And I really apologize for that stupid duplicate little message there. I think I might have a virus on my computer or something. It won't go away. So that looks pretty close, and I'll just make sure they're centered. Now, to create my text on the outside, I'm going to create another circle for my text to attach to. Zoom in a little bit. Trying to get rid of that. Trying to decide if I wanted to start a new circle or just duplicate one. Ended up duplicating this one, and I want its size to, if my circle's 4 or 5 inches wide, you just want it a little bit smaller, like a 1/2 inch smaller, so I did 4.5. I'm just kind of visually dragging it over to the area, and then I'm going to center it again. And I decided to make this as a birthday card for my nephew, and his name is Dimitri, so I thought it would be fun to make a custom sentiment just for him. And so I'm typing out "Happy Birthday, Dimitri," with a little asterisk to separate each sentiment, because I'm going to repeat it over and over again. I know that I'm going to want the sentiment a lot smaller to fit on my circle, and I wanted it around 13 points, but they didn't have that, so I just hand typed 13.0. And then I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. I'm going to change this so that it's filled with black and also has a black outline. And then I'm going to change the cut settings so that this is not a cutting word, just a word that you can print. Now I tried to highlight this and do a cut and paste, but I could never seem to grab it just right, so I gave up and finally decided to just hand type it in, so please bear with me. Now I have enough of the sentiment here that I think I can show you how to grab it. Oops, I got a little grabby with my zoom out button. I'm going to remove this outer circle, I believe, so that it doesn't get in my way when I'm trying to position this. I'm going to drag it and on that little plus sign, and when you drag it to the circle, it grabs on and conforms to that shape. Now if you move the little slider thing, you can see that the sentiment can go up and down on that circle that you've created. And the circle that it's attached to, it's changed to gray. It no longer will cut out. It's now just become an anchor for the sentiment that you've attached to it. And I just was sharing how you can kind of play with the different spacing. I'm not quite sure the exact spacing I want. I think I will type some more and see as I get further along how I want to space it. Now, when I got to this point, I realized I wasn't using the font that I wanted to use. I really wanted to use Lori's awesome font called LW Friendly. So I just went up to the text box and typed it in to search for it. And when I did this, I realized the spacing of this was a little closer together and it made it harder to read, so I switched it to 105% character spacing. And I apologize here, I somehow when I grabbed it I erased some letters and I couldn't tell if there was an extra space added, so I had to go back and rewrite some of it. Now on this last one, this is where you can kind of play with the character spacing to make it line up with the previous one. It's sometimes hard to get it perfect. In my case, 105 was not quite right, but as you'll see, 106 makes it a little close, but I ended up living with that. And here I thought to get it 106, I had to highlight the whole word, and I kept struggling to grab it all and have it stay highlighted. So I think I did it twice, and then I just finally gave up and tried it without it and hit enter on my keyboard, and that worked. So now this is ready for a print and cut. I can take away the center game pieces and group these together. I'm just double checking to make sure that my words are not on the cut. and they're not. And I'm going to switch my page size to 8.5 by 11 since I don't have a 12 by 12 printer anymore. And I'm going to click to show the registration marks, and I'm going to move it into the cutting area within the red line and not within the hatch marks of that cut and print and cut, excuse me. So it occurred to me that I had never centered these. They were always just done by eyeballing it, so now I'm aligning them both on the center and the middle, and then I'm going to group them together. So to do a print and cut, you would go up here to the cut, and you would click here to print and run it a piece of paper through your printer, and then after it comes out, you can say continue and detect automatically for the registration marks, and then the next screen would say to cut it. I didn't go through that process for this video. So I'm going to move this aside and share now how I created the words for my spinner. I couldn't decide how I wanted to turn this. I could have used the maybe turn 45 degrees or something, but I ended up just doing it by eye. Now I'm going to ungroup it and pull one aside and put the others off to the side as well. Now I'm going to duplicate this one because I know that there's 8 of them, but I want them all to be at this angle when I work with them. So you can go to the replicate and make a row of 4, and then take those and highlight them and duplicate below. For cutting purposes, these might be a little close. I might separate them a little bit, but for duplicating, it's a fast process. In hindsight, though, I realize I probably should have done that after I do what I'm about to show you. So I'm creating another circle for my words for this spinner piece, and I want it to be, again, about a 1/2 inch smaller, so I'm making it, I thought at first 3.5, but then I realized it needed to be 3.25 for the size of my card. Now I'm going to drag it, and in this case I just kind of eyeballed it and didn't worry about it getting it perfect. And now I'm going to insert text in the same way that I did on the other ones, but on a smaller scale. And once again, I'm going to switch it to the same font, which is LW friendly. And this time I'm going to go with a little bit bigger font. And I'll zoom here in a second so you can see better. And once again, I'm going to change them so that their color is black and their outline is black. And then I'm going to turn off the cut lines. So I'm going to select no cut. And I'm going to double click and get that little arrow. And I got really lucky here. Sometimes it can go all over the place, but I got it onto the right shape right away. As you'll see, I struggled with it a little bit the second time I did it. But now I have my first piece, and since that big circle that it's attached, the words attached to will not cut, you can overlap these, and you only have to worry about the red cut line and the printing portion. And I was going to just write dance party and try to scoot it over, but as you'll see, when I did that, it went wacky and tried to attach to all these other services, and I couldn't quite seem to get it to get back on the right track. So I ended up going to the bigger circle and scooting it over, which can work. But in the end, I decided I needed to move away that other game piece and just get it out of the way for a little while I worked. I was having a little bit of trouble here. It separated, and I decided in the end to just go back to my other word and duplicate it. Sorry. I decided to leave these flubs in here so that you could see that I screw up a lot too. Now I can highlight it and write in the word dance party. And I'm just gonna bring this back over and make sure it fits okay. And in hindsight, I left this a little too high, and I went back and lowered it when I actually went to cut it, but I don't think it made it for this video. Anyway, just showing how you can stack them back together and create a bunch of these and cut them out individually. So for the spinner, I ended up cutting several of the center spinner and enlarging the hole just ever so slightly in the center so that it could freely move on a brad. I just wanted to add that because I don't think I shared it on this video. Just sharing again how you can add them. So you can fit, I think, up to 4 across on that top row. But again, if you're using them in different colors, that might not work. I ended up actually attaching with temporary adhesive 4 different pieces of paper to one print and cut. So I just ran it through at one time, and then I adhered that entire piece of paper to my cutting mat. And so here I just wanted to show you quickly that I'm also using that same font to create the numbers. And at first I couldn't remember what size I had made them, so I wanted to make sure they were around 0.95. But I think I just used it the default 72 point, and they just fit really well in that little game piece. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this and you've learned a new fun technique. It's been a lot of fun using this on layouts and everything. So thanks for stopping by, and make sure to check by Lori's blog for more information.